Hi all, this is a complete guide for Captain Hermes as part of the Family Battler achievement. I'll add timestamps in the description so you can easily jump to the fight you want. First up is Hobbyist Aquarist. All 3 pets cast their abilities randomly, so your mileage with each of your pets will vary. Your first pet is a Spawner with Swallow You Whole, Dive and Paralysing Shock. Your second pet is a Coastal Scuttler with Frostbite, Stampede and Bubble. And finally a Plump Jelly or similar pet with Tentacle Slap and Squeeze. Start with your spawn and cast Paralysing Shock. Now simply use Dive if a Whirlpool has 1 round remaining, Paralysing Shock and cooldown, and Swallow You Whole to fill until Shelly is defeated. Once Shelly is defeated, Sheldon enters. Use Paralysing Shock and cooldown and Swallow You Whole to fill until defeated. I'll pass a few rounds to show what to do should your spawn be defeated early. Once defeated, bring in your Coastal Scuttler. If Sheldon is low on health and a Frostbite will finish it off, use that. Otherwise, start with Bubble, followed by Stampede. Once Stampede is finished, cast Frostbite until Sheldon is defeated. Once Sheldon is defeated, Shelby enters. If your Scuttler is low on health, just use Stampede until defeated. If your Scuttler has a decent amount of health, use Bubble on cooldown, Stampede to apply the Shattered Defensive debuff, and then Frostbite to fill until if and when defeated. Try to leave a Shattered Defensive debuff on Shelby if your Scuttler is defeated. If defeated, your Jelly enters. Start with Squeeze, and then if needed, Tentacle Slap until the fight is done. Next up we have Beast Mode. Your first pet is a Zandalari Kneebiter with Hunting Party, Black Claw and Bloodfang. Your second pet is a Lurking Owl Kitten with Quills and Feathered Frenzy, and then any level 25 beast pet. This one won't be used. Start with Black Claw, followed by Hunting Party, the second round of Hunting Party will finish off Shelly and Sheldon enters. Cast Bloodfang and then Black Claw until defeated. Once defeated, bring in your Owl Kitten. Start with Feathered Frenzy, and then Quills until Sheldon is defeated. Once Sheldon is defeated, Shelby enters. Use Feathered Frenzy on cooldown, otherwise Quills until the fight is done. Now for critters with huge teeth. Your first pet is a Darkmoon Hatchling with Peck and Flog. Your second pet is a Fawn with Stampede, Tranquility and Headbutt. And finally, any level 25 critter pet with Scratch. Higher the power the better. Start with Flog. Once Flock is finished, cast Peck. This finishes off Shelly and Sheldon enters. Cast Flock until defeated. Once your Dark Moon hatchling is defeated, bring in your Fawn. Cast Headbutt to take advantage of the Shattered Defence's debuff, and then Stampede until Sheldon is defeated. Once Sheldon is defeated, Shelby enters. Use Headbutt and cooldown if there's a Shattered Defence's debuff active, otherwise Stampede until if and when defeated. Use Tranquility after Stampede if Headbutt has 1 round remaining on its cooldown. The Shattered Defence's debuff will still be active for the Headbutt then. If defeated, use Scratch with your final pet until the fight is done. Next we have Dragons Make Everything Better. Your first pet is a Stormborn Whelpling, with Frost Breath, Mana Surge and Arcane Storm. Your second pet is a Phoenix Hawk Hatchling, with Quills, Flyby and Liftoff. And finally, Creminius, with Howl and Surge of Power. Start with Arcane Storm. Followed by Mana Surge. This will defeat Shelly on the 2nd or 3rd round. Once Shelly is defeated, Sheldon enters, and is hit by any remaining rounds of Mana Surge. Once Mana Surge is finished, use Arcane Storm on cooldown and Frost Breath to fill until defeated. Once your Stormborn Whelpling is defeated, bring in your Phoenix Hawk Hatchling. Follow this priority. If Sheldon uses Dive, cast Liftoff to avoid the hit, otherwise apply the Flyby debuff, and Quills to fill until Sheldon is defeated. Once Sheldon is defeated, Shelby enters. Cast Flyby, followed by Liftoff when off cooldown, otherwise Quills until if and when defeated. If defeated, Creminius enters, cast Howl, followed by Surge of Power. Next is Element of Success. This can be RNG, but will usually work. Your first pet is a tiny snowman, with Snowball, Cold Blizzard and Deep Freeze. Your second pet is an unstable tendril, with Deep Burn, Scorched Earth and Elementium Bolt. And finally, a Phoenix Hatchling, with Peck, Immolate and Conflagrate. Start with Cold Blizzard. Followed by Deep Freeze. And then Snowball. Shelly will be stunned and swap out for Sheldon, who will then be hit by this. Due to the random use of abilities, this fight is hard to predict, but just follow this priority until your snowman is defeated. Cast Cold Blizzard after Sheldon uses Cleansing Rain, and then follow this with Deep Freeze, and Snowball to fill until Sheldon is defeated. If Sheldon gets stunned and Shelly comes back in, use Cold Blizzard on cooldown, Deep Freeze on cooldown, and Snowball to fill. Once your snowman is defeated, bring in your tendril. Use Scorched Earth on cooldown and Deep Burn to fill until both Shelly and Sheldon are defeated. Once both Shelly and Sheldon are defeated, Shelby enters. Cast Elementium Bolt and then Scorched Earth on cooldown and Deep Burn to fill until defeated. Once defeated, your Phoenix Hatchling enters. If there's a Scorched Earth weather effect active, then start with Conflagrate, followed by Peck until the fight is done. If the Scorched Earth weather effect isn't active, then cast Immolate, followed by Conflagrate, and then Peck until the fight is done. Now for fun with flying. Your first pet is a Turaclaw Hatchling with Alpha Strike, Dodge and Ravage. Your second pet is a diabetic hatchling with Falcasaur Swarm, Iron Skin and Predatory Strike, and then any level 25 flying pet. This one is unlikely to be used. Start with Alpha Strike. Now just use Dodge if a Whirlpool has 1 round remaining, otherwise Alpha Strike until Shelly is defeated. Once Shelly is defeated, Sheldon enters. Use Dodge if Sheldon uses Dive and it's off cooldown, otherwise Alpha Strike. If Sheldon is at or below 309 health, cast Ravage to get a small heal. Once Sheldon is defeated, Shelby enters. Cast Alpha Strike until if and when defeated. If defeated, bring in your Diabeak. Depending on how much health Shelby has left, if Predatory Strike will finish off Shelby, use that, otherwise cast Iron Skin, followed by Falcasaur Swarm, and then Predatory Strike. Next we have Human Resources. Your first pet is a Harpy Youngling, with Quills, Flyby, and Liftoff. Your second pet is an Anubisaf Idol, with Crush, Sandstorm, and Deflection. And finally, any level 25 humanoid pet. This one is unlikely to be used. I went with a Helper, with Ice Lance, Cold Blizzard, and Gift of Winter's Veil. Start with Flyby. Now follow this priority. If a Whirlpool has 1 round remaining, cast Liftoff to avoid the hit, otherwise Quills until Shelly is defeated. Once Shelly is defeated, Sheldon enters. Again, start with Flyby, unless a Whirlpool is about to hit, in which case cast Liftoff if available. Now if Sheldon uses Dive, cast Liftoff if available to avoid the hit, otherwise Quills until Sheldon is also defeated. I'll pass here to show what to do in case your Harpy is defeated early. So if your Harpy is defeated, bring in your Anubisaf Idol. Use Deflection if Sheldon uses Dive to avoid the hit, otherwise Sandstorm and cooldown and Crush to fill until Sheldon is defeated. Once Sheldon is defeated, Shelby enters. If your Harpy is the active pet, start with Flyby, then Liftoff and cooldown and Quills to fill until if and when defeated. If your Idol was the active pet, use Sandstorm and cooldown and Crush to fill until the fight is done. If you get some really bad RNG, use your final pet to clean up. Now for Magician's Secrets. Your first pet is an Enchanted Pen, with Quills, Evanescence, and Foreboding Curse. Your second pet is a High Owl Wisp, with Arcane Blast, Evanescence, and Wish. And then any level 25 magic pet, this won't be used. Start with Foreboding Curse, then if a Whirlpool has 1 round remaining, cast Evanescence, otherwise Quills, until Shelly is defeated. Once Shelly is defeated, Sheldon enters. Start with Foreboding Curse, and then if Sheldon uses Dive, cast Evanescence if available to avoid the hit, otherwise Quills until Sheldon is also defeated. Once Sheldon is defeated, Shelby enters. Again, start with Foreboding Curse, and then Quills until defeated or the fight is done. If your pen is defeated, spam Arcane Blast with your Wisp until done. Next up is Machine Learning. Your first pet is an Iron Starlet, with Wind Up, Powerball, and Supercharge. Your second pet is a Little Bling, with Inflation, Extra Plating, Make It Rain. And finally, any level 25 mechanical pet. This is unlikely to be used. Start with Wind Up to charge. followed by supercharge, and then wind up to hit. This finishes off Shelly and Sheldon enters. Start with wind up to charge. Now use Powerball until Sheldon uses dive. Once Sheldon uses dive, cast supercharge if off cooldown. If it wasn't off cooldown, cast it when it is, and then follow this with wind up to hit. Use Powerball to fill. This will finish off Sheldon and Shelby enters. Cast wind up to charge and hit if you have enough health, otherwise just spam Powerball until defeated. Once defeated, bring in your little bling. Start with extra plating, followed by make it rain, then inflation. Once inflation has finished, cast make it rain if needed. This should finish up the fight. And finally, not quite dead yet. Your first pet is Mr. Bigglesworth, with Pounce, Frost Nova and Ice Tomb. Your second pet is a Rising Saber Kitten, with Pounce, Screech and Devour. And finally, a Ghastly Kid with Hoof. Start with Mr. Bigglesworth and cast Pounce until Shelly uses Spiny Carapace, at which point cast Ice Tomb followed by Frost Nova, and then Pounce until Shelly is defeated. If Shelly is low on health when he uses Spiny Carapace, you could just forego Ice Tomb and continue to Pounce. Once Shelly is defeated, Sheldon enters. Start with Pounce, and then continue to Pounce until Sheldon uses Dive. If Sheldon uses Dive, cast Ice Tomb if off cooldown, followed by Frost Nova, and then Pounce until defeated, if not already. Once your Mr. Bigglesworth is defeated, bring in your Rising Saber Kitten. When Sheldon is at or below 234 health, cast Devour, unless in your Undead round, to finish him off and receive a heal, otherwise cast Pounce until Sheldon is defeated. Once Sheldon is defeated, Shelby enters. If your kitten was still alive, start with Screech and then use Pounce until Shelby is defeated or your Saber Kitten enters its Undead round. Once in your kitten's Undead round, refresh Screech. Once your kitten is defeated, your Ghastly Kid will enter. Spam Hoof until the fight is done. Hope you found this video helpful and thanks for watching.